Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you how to make this pencil skirt. I made the top in my previous video. If you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and check it out. And I'll be making use of this African print for the skirt as well. So I made use of 3 yards of fabric for both the skirt and the top. So guys, let's just get into the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and let's get into the video. So guys, I have already cut out my fabric. As you can see, I used the biggest part of my measurements to cut out this fabric, and we have both the front and the back piece together, and this will be our starting line. So from this starting line, I'll just measure my length. This is 27 inches and the length of this skirt is 29 inches, but what we have here is 27 because I minus 2 inches from it, because I'll be putting a band on this skirt. So these 2 inches will be for our band. I hope that makes sense. So I'll still minus that 2 inches, and from that 2 inches I'll take my hip line, which is 8 inches, and I'll go ahead and just mark it. So guys, if you look closely, we have both the front piece and the back piece together. You can see some space at the back. That will be our zipper allowance for the back piece. I just took 1 inches for zipper allowance. So we have both the front and the back together, and we'll be cutting them together. So this is our hip line, and on this waistline I'll come to the waistline and I'll be putting my waist measurement. So divide your round waist measurement by 4, and whatever thing you have there, you put it there. And I'll be adding 1 inches for that, because I'll be making use of that, and I'll be adding 1 inches for stitching allowance. And then I'll come to the hip line. I'll divide my hip circumference by 4, and I'll go ahead and just place it there. Mind you, I am placing it from the front piece, please, not from the back piece. I hope that folded one, that is why I'm placing it. And I added 1 inches for my hip allowance. So you can see that this one is on fold, so all my measurement is from the folded one. This is the back piece. You can see the back, that is our zipper line. So that was what I was trying to explain. And it is divided into 2. So now the next thing I'll do is to connect from my waist to my hip. And then I'll just measure what I have here, and then I'll come to the length of my skirt, and I'll minus 1 inches from what I have there. So I will just use 1.5 inches. So I minus 1.5 inches. So this depends on how penciled you want your skirt to be. So after that, I'll just go ahead and connect it with my free hand, and this is what we have. And this is what we have. We are done drafting. So now after doing that, we'll just go ahead and cut it out, and I'm just trying to arrange it so that they'll be equal, so that one will not be longer than the other. After doing that, I'll just go ahead and cut this out. This is what we have after I was done cutting it out. Now I'll open it up for you to see. So this is the front piece. It is folded, as you can see. It is folded into 2. And this is the back piece. You can see we have 2 pieces for the back. And we also have zipper allowance for the back. So now we'll cut this on our lining as well. So guys, I have gone ahead to cut it on my lining, and you can see that I minus 2 inches from my lining piece. So your Ankara your Ankara should be longer than your lining. Whatever thing you are using should be longer than your lining pieces, because this is a full lining skirt. So to both the front and the back, I have cut out the lining piece. And now next thing we'll be doing is to place our darts. So from this folded edge here, I'll go ahead and measure my dart, which is 3.5 inches. So yours might be 4 or so, but mine is 3.5 inches. So I'll go ahead now and make a notch there. So this will just serve as a guide for me when I'm sewing. So I'll just open this up. So this is what it will look like. So that notched, this part where I notched, what you do is you come down by 4 inches. You come down by 4 inches the way you see me doing. After doing that, you take half inches on both sides. I'm just doing this process, I'm just showing you guys. This is something you do on your machine. So you take half inches on both sides like this. So when you are sewing, you sew on that half inches down to the 4 inches. I don't know if you understand. So I'll do the same thing for the back piece as well. But for the back dart, we'll be taking the back dart from the zipper. From the zipper side, I'll just show you briefly. So you just place your tape from the zipper line, from this line, this zipper line. Go ahead and place your tape like so and measure 3.5 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement, and then take half inches on both sides, just as we did for the back. And I took 5 inches for the length for the back, and then you connect it like this. So I will notch it. After notching it, I'll just go ahead and stitch this on my machine. So guys, I have done everything, and the next thing we'll be doing is we'll place our lining on our fabric, right side facing the right side like so, and then you go ahead and stitch the bottom part. You stitch it straight down like this. So I'll be using half an inch, and I'll do the same thing for the back piece as well. I'll pick one side of the lining and one side of the fabric, right side facing right side, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it down the bottom part of the skirt. So I will be doing this after I have sewed down my darts. Then I'll go ahead and stitch the bottom parts of our skirt. And this is what we have after I was done stitching it. You can see what it looks like. So you can see our darts for both the lining and the fabric. So the next thing we'll be doing now is, after you must have done that, you will fold in your fabric towards the lining like this. Just watch what I am doing. So just watch what I'm doing. Remember when we were cutting the lining out, I made sure that the fabric was longer than the lining. So, and I used 1.5 inches. So that 1.5 inches that I used, that is what I will use here as well. So you can see me measuring it to be sure that it is 1.5 inches. So I'll be pushing the lining inwards. You understand this, guys? So just go ahead and do that, and then pin it down. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other side. I'll measure it to be sure that it is 1.5 inch, just to have a perfect skirt. So just go ahead and do this process. So after doing this, next thing we'll do now, you sew it down like this, and the other side. So you will not be sewing the waistline, please. So just go ahead and stitch here and here. I'll go ahead and do that. And this is what I have after I was done stitching it down. You can see what I mean. You can see the side. You can see what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and bring this out. And this is what it looks like. So go ahead and trim off the excess lining, because you will definitely have excess lining. So you just go ahead and trim it off the way I just did. So this is what we have. You go ahead, and this is the other back piece. You can see what we have, the same thing. I've gone ahead to do that. And this is the front piece as well. So this is the front piece. I did the same thing, and I'll just go ahead and turn this to the right side. And this is what we have. You can see what we have. So now, next thing I'll do now, this is optional. I'll go ahead and iron this, but I'll be using my hemming gum just to make it easier and to keep the lining in place. You can iron this without hemming gum, guys. Like, you can iron it without hemming gum and it will still be very fine. I'm just using this hemming gum, don't mind me. So I'll just go ahead and use it the way you see me doing. I'll just put it inside the clothes and I'll iron it. So I'll go ahead and do that and bring it back. And this is what it looks like. So you can see how neat this is after I was done ironing it. So you can see how it is slipping perfectly. So my hemming gum actually worked for me, but it is optional. So the next thing we'll do now is to join the zipper part of our back piece. So I'll go ahead and mark it. So this is the zipper part. Remember, we took 1.5 inch for our zipper. Sorry, 1 inches, guys, for our zipper allowance. So I'll just stitch from down to here and then stop here as well. So I'll stitch a loose stitch to this part, and then from this part I'll make a tight stitch. So that loose stitch, I'll use it later to add our zipper, while that side will be for our slit. I hope I was not fast. So I have done that. You can see I made a loose stitch from here to this mark. I made a loose stitch, that is for our zipper, and from that mark I made a tight stitch down to this side, which is for our slit. So for this slit, I'll also be using my hemming gum. I'll just place it like this and I'll iron it, and it will be clean after doing that. So what we'll do now is to bring our front piece, and we'll go ahead now and join it together. So right side facing right side, just place your front piece and your back piece like so, and go ahead and arrange it, making sure they are equal. So after doing that, go ahead and pin it down. After pinning it down, go ahead and put your body measurement. So just go ahead and mark out your body measurement. So you measure the skirt and then you mark your body measurement. I hope that makes sense. And then I just mark that of my waist, and now I'm marking that of my hip as well. After doing that, connect it down. So for the pencil, you can take more inches away from the skirt, but I did not. I just took it down. I did not want it to be that pencil. After that, I went ahead to stitch it down, and this is what our skirt looks like. Beautiful, right? I am yet to even iron this, guys, so you can imagine. So now I'll go ahead and loose the zipper where we'll be putting our zipper. You remember we made a loose stitch there, so it will be easier for us to lose it. So after losing it, go ahead and measure your waist. That is so that we can cut out the band. I'll go ahead and measure what I have here. And mind you, when cutting out the band, please do not cut the exact thing you have on your waist. Add like 2 or 3 inches to it, just in case. It is better to have excess than to have shortage. So just go ahead and measure it. And I got 31, which is more than enough for me. And then next thing I'll do now is to cut out our band. So this is the band I cut out, and the length is 34 inches, as you can see, and the width is 5 inches. Now this 5 inches, I know you'll be wondering why 5 inches. When I'm done using it, it will be 2 inches. So I'll just go ahead and iron an ST to this. This is also optional. I just want to give the band some kind of weight. So I'll go ahead and iron it, and this is what it looks like after I was done ironing it. You can see what we have. So now I'll tell you why I cut out 5 inches. Now I'll be folding in ½ inches like this. I'll fold in ½ inches and I'll iron it. And I'll fold ½ inches on this other side as well and iron it down. After that, I'll fold it into 2 like this. After ironing the ½ inches, you fold your band like this, and then you iron it down. And when you are done with that, when you measure it, you realize that you have 2 inches. So you iron it and it will look like that. So I'll go ahead and do that. And this is what we have. I hope you can see. You can see, right? I'll open it up, and this is the half inch. I ironed it down and I went ahead to fold it like so. So now I'll bring back our skirts. And now we'll go ahead and put our band. So we'll go ahead and put our band. Now for this band, I'll be placing it right side facing right side. This is how I want it to be. But there are other ways you can actually put your band, but this one makes it neat for me. I don't know. So before placing that band, I'll just go ahead and mark half inches like this. These half inches now, let me explain. So you can see I'm placing the band from that half inches. So I have excess. You understand? So I have excess, and it is right side facing right side, as you can see. So I'm placing it from that half inches to have excess, so that I will be able to stitch it later, and I will show you that as well. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead and pin this down, pin it to the skirt. So this will just make it easy for us to work on. That was why I ironed it. It will just make it very easy for you to stitch on it. So just go ahead and do the same thing the way you see me doing. So after pinning it, I'll just go ahead now and stitch on it like this. Down I'll go. I'll just stitch on it. I'll sew on the edges of the half inches and I'll stitch on it down. So I'll go ahead now and do that. So this is it. This is what the front is already looking like, and this is the back of our skirt. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to fold that half inches that I told you to leave. That half inches, so you can see that was why I told you to leave half inches before. So this is it. I'll go ahead now and just stitch it down like this. And for the other side, you can see we have excess. I'll go ahead and trim it off, and then I'll fold it as well and stitch it. And this is what it looks like after I was done stitching it. You can see what we have. So now I'll go ahead and bring it out. First of all, I'll just cut these edges like so that it will sit perfectly. So I'll just use my scissors to bring this out like this, and yeah, so you can see what we have. Look at how neat it is, guys. You can see. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll trim this side off, and then I'll bring it out. So now for the to sew the other part of the band, this is just how I do mine. If you can't do this, please use another way. There are many ways to fix your band. What I'll do now is just to arrange the band the way you see me doing. After doing that, I'll go ahead now and open it up like this. So I will not stitch it from the back side. No, I won't stitch it from the back side. I'll stitch it from the front side because I do not want thread to be showing on my skirt. So you see this line here, this line, this one, I'll be stitching inside the line. I'll just arrange the back of the band, making sure it is well at the back, and then I'll stitch on the line. I hope you understand. Just make sure so that thread will not be showing on this skirt when I am done. So this line, let me come again, this line, that is where I'll be stitching. I'll just be stitching on it carefully. Please take your time to do that. And this is what we have. I don't know if you can see the skirts here. You can see that there's no thread showing at all. Like, there's no thread showing here. It is looking very neat. Very neat. and I'm yet to even iron this, guys. Our skirt is looking beautiful already. So what is remaining is for us to attach the zipper. So the zipper allowance, I'll go ahead and use the zipper allowance to place my zipper, and then after that I'll give this skirt a good press, and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is the skirt and this is the zipper. I've gone ahead to attach my zipper, and I am still yet to iron this, but look at how beautiful it is looking already. This is the slit. Look how neat it is. So when I iron it, I know this skirt will look really pretty. So guys, if this is your first time of stopping by, please consider subscribing. I am Sewing Stacia. Subscribe to my channel. I upload sewing tutorial every week. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Bye for now.